For today's episode, there's just one goal: make a ton of money. See, we're currently making around 200,000 profit a month. That's okay, but we also don't have too many services and there's no public transport, just a bunch of taxis driving around. In this town, the only industry we're building is farm-related industry like we have here in the middle, and that results in us having large surplus of all the farming goods. So let's try to turn the surplus into profits by building out a cargo train terminal here in the area and then creating more farms in the area around it between our two centers of population. Let's go and start with the cargo train station. We have the train line running along here, and I think that gives us two options. Either we build it here on the side of the farms or on the other side on this plot. I think I want to have it over here, but we'll need to reroute the street somehow, but let's just start and see what happens. First, we need to go ahead and unlock trains, and then we need to find a place for this massive rail yard. This is our town over there. I'm thinking somewhere down here in the forestry area could be good. Let's just place it here. Oh, this was really expensive. This setup already allows train to spawn in. Just in case you didn't know, you only need to connect the top track. The other ones are just visuals. They don't really have any functionality. Next, let's speed up the time so we can actually get some of the money that we will need to develop the area, because what we need specifically is the cargo train terminal. We can't afford that yet, but let's just take a loan for it in the meantime, just so we can get building, and it should give us profits at some point anyway. This is the size of the entire building. That gives us a better idea of where we can actually place it. And I guess that makes it a bit more difficult. I don't really see a way where I could fit it in here, because I also need to connect the rail lines. But what we actually could do would be to reroute the street down here and place the train terminal somewhere at the bottom. Then the train tracks don't have to cross any street. Let's try to do that. Pause the game. And now we're going to be rebuilding streets. First, let's fit in the train terminal. Immediately connect it up. This looks okay. I hope the train can pass through that tight corner, but it should work. Then we set up a straight alleyway here. It has two connection points. One to the existing road at the top and one to the right here. That should have it all connected up again. And we have the cargo train station now, which we can link up to the outside. One here to the left and run it back to create a route. And I also created a second one all the way to the right. I think that works. I'm not sure if it makes any difference, but soon we should see trains leaving. Yes, here they come. This is the first cargo train. We can take a ride with it through the countryside. This is all beautiful area that we can still develop. How nice is that? Riding across the power lines. And we'll soon be exporting stuff. Oh, and there's also tons of vehicles leaving. They're leaving empty, but they're returning to the outside. I'm not so sure what that means exactly, but we're already starting to store plastics, and now the train is arriving. It's still empty. Oh, and now people are bringing cotton. That definitely means we are exporting stuff, and we'll soon be turning it into profits. Since that is going well, let's build more farms to export more stuff. Good thing that for that we have a large area still available. First, we can develop this place here where we first wanted to build the train station. Let's start with another cotton field, since apparently that's already being exported. And then looking at production, our lowest surplus is livestock. Let's just get more of that as well, just like that. Looking back over to the train station, there's also no food in here and vegetables. And there's also a cargo train arriving with stuff to import. Let's actually follow it and see if it will also pick up some of the stuff we're trying to export. Oh, and there's another train already in the terminal. Is it leaving with anything? Oh, and now somehow the trains disappeared. Possibly because they were in the way of each other? No, here's one arriving. Oh, but it's not coming to my place. That was weird. Weren't there just two trains here? Let's still hope things are going well, and just let's continue building farmland. So I'm just building out more of the farm plots wherever there's space. We will really take this industry to new heights. I guess it would have also been interesting to see production at the beginning and then what it is at the end, but where we can definitely see it will be in the monthly balance. Currently, we're still lower than what we started with at 200,000 a month, but we're paying for all the infrastructure for the trains. Hopefully this will be a profitable investment very, very soon. I'm sure we'll find out. I have added a lot more farms, some of them even on like dirt roads such as these ones. I think that looks even better. We're up to close to 300,000 in monthly profits. And this is what our production looks like. We're making way more wheat and vegetables. And I'm thinking while we're at that, in between all these farms, there should probably be somewhat of a small community. So let's build that out. We already have a water tower here. Let's get in some roads. Maybe we'll build out a few small shops here and there. Maybe an office building for some companies operating out here. And then of course a bunch of small homes and people that live here. These are either workers on the farm or in other places. Oh, and this road just destroyed some of the buildings I'm doing here. Good thing we can just rezone that, and then we'll just have more residential here to the back, and people can just enjoy and have a good life here. This will just be a very small village, and they'll also be getting a bunch of trees in their area just to stop some of the winds, because like imagine you're living in this giant farm area. There's probably tons of winds, because there's no place where they would be stopping. So having trees in between these homes is probably really important. Some bushes and some larger of the pine trees. That should give a great area. Breaking it up a tiny bit, what we have here, we can also give it a district, just like that. There's currently 25 residents here and about 40 jobs. This district needs a way better name. Please let me know one in the comment what this small town should be named. We can probably also keep this tile here to the side for some expansion for this town. I mean, I can just imagine like this road continuing through here and maybe connecting back up down here. That would give quite an organic layout, and we could add more homes and shops here. But that all depends on you. What should we do in this tile? Maybe you have a totally different idea. Maybe a mega post office sorting facility or like some telecom building. For some reason, give it a backstory and we can make it happen. But for this episode, we're still out on profits and we want to export stuff. How about we add to our farming industry some wood? I mean, we have a forest up here and I think it's close enough. I mean, farming and wood is very, very similar. So why not get in forestry right here? We can get it in, and that will also allow us to build furniture and maybe even have other factors that will benefit the farm areas, and we will be able to export a lot of that wood. Oh, and there's immediately trucks leaving. Where are you going? They have a tiny bit of wood loaded in and they're delivering it to some place. So they are probably heating with wood, I guess. So they are buying wood from the wood camp all the way out here, but that's amazing. Let's build a second one and a third one to fill the entire area. That puts us over 300,000 in monthly profits and gives us a wood production of currently about 5 tons every month, most of which of course is being exported. And then of course maybe a paper factory would be good. For that we need 10 forestry area hubs. Let's check where we can build more forestry area. Well, I guess down here would be good. We can build some more but smaller forestry areas. They are quite far away from the city, but probably that means that they also have the best trees with the least amount of pollution. Then there's some more plots we can use up here, and that gives us a paper factory. We can develop that as well, maybe here next to the train station. That means they can export then immediately. Oh, but it's giant. I guess that's great. Let's just put it here directly. Man, that's big. And I guess it creates a ton of jobs, 500 jobs. That's a lot. It will probably also have a lot of office jobs associated with it. So let's get in a few office buildings and maybe a cafe for when the people are at break that are working here, a bit more offices. And then that's the area of the paper factory. It's really not able to fill all the open positions, meaning we'll need more residential zoning very, very soon. Oh, and we can already see paper being exported. That's perfect. Can we actually see in the production tab? Yes, so we are exporting 50 or like 60 tons of paper every month. That's a really good amount. It requires timber, but actually I think we're only producing wood and then we're importing timber, I guess. That's a problem. Let's try to get in some industry that makes wood to timber. We have a few spaces here where we can try, but the thing is, if I add normal industrial manufacturing, can just check that out here. Let's see what they will produce. They are turning vegetables and livestock into food, that's fine. Metals and plastic into vehicles, that's not fine. Timber into furniture, I guess that works. Grain into food, that's fine. And let's see the last one. Chemicals into pharmaceuticals. Let's delete the one that are producing the wrong stuff. And maybe we can also incentivize it via taxation. I mean, convenience food, furniture, grain is fine. Paper, timber, vegetables. I'm gonna tax a lot out of vehicles, electronics, metals, crude oil. Like all the things that we're not producing and that we don't want in the city. I only want them building wood and food. Also beverages and textiles is fine, and I guess in offices you can do whatever. Let's see if that changes anything. And there's a lot of traffic in this factory. Who are all of you? So you're transporting, probably people, passenger. So you're all the workers. Where do you live? Or you work, wait, you live here in the paper factory? No, that doesn't make sense. But either way, it creates a lot of traffic. There's a delivery van delivering, well, immediately to the cargo train station. That's perfect. Short ways and no one's clogging up the streets. Now let's check this out again. Livestock to convenience foods and grain to beverages. Yeah, so these industry areas are perfectly fine. Let's actually build very few more of those just to see if adjusting the taxation to these specific industries actually works. And I guess in the meantime, just to make the area look better, let's just spam down a bunch of trees. It's a paper factory overall. It comes from the forestry area. I guess to keep a green image, what they're doing is planting a lot of trees so that the population doesn't complain about them cutting down all the trees, because they can say, hey, we planted tons of trees here. Look at us, we're doing great. But that's not what happens in reality. Okay, now these industries. This one is still doing plastic to vehicles. No, we don't want you. Timber to furniture, that's fine. Vegetables, stone, we don't want. More metal, we don't want. So basically, I'm just gonna go through and demolish all these buildings until they only process the things we want them to process. This is a lot of work and I need to really control it. Oh, and this is actually the factory I wanted. It's doing wood to timber, exactly what I needed. And we can also see that people that are working here have to walk and they live somewhere down here. Here they are. So like this person is walking to work. Quite a long journey, but thank you for doing that, for not creating traffic. And I think we can also already see, depending on what these are called. So this will be the mill. This will have to do something with food or wood. That will be fine. This one is called planks. So we can immediately see when they're building. This here will be a pharmacy. Let's delete that. Still a pharmacy. This is now something different. Let's check what it will be. Timber to paper. That's perfect. It's basically doing exactly what this giant factory is doing. So maybe this is doing it for the whole population, and this factory here is like the boutique shop. Maybe it's making higher quality paper. So we can actually control what industry we have here. That's pretty cool. And with all these changes, adding the train station, adding the paper factory, a bunch of farms, and also forestry area, we're up to 340,000 per month in profits. And since building all these things, we've also really stacked up on money. I think we started around 100,000, somewhere that, and now we're up to 700,000. So we definitely have budget now for the next episode. We will need to create jobs. We will need to create living space somewhere. Where to do that? Put your suggestions in the comments. I'm looking forward to reading them. Since you're still here, consider subscribing. Thank you for watching and happy gaming.